Have you ever wondered about the afterlife, about paradise? What are the signs that you might be on the path to such a blissful eternity? It's a profound question, one that has intrigued and perplexed humankind for millennia. Some believe in the concept of paradise, a place of eternal happiness and peace, a reward for a life well lived. But how do we know if we're on the right path? How can we be sure if we're heading towards this heavenly reward? One may find some answers in the words of the Prophet, who spoke about the three things that accompany a person to their grave: their family, their wealth, and their deeds. Yet, only the deeds stay behind. So if our deeds are our only companions in the grave, what are the signs that they might be leading us towards paradise? In the teachings of the Prophet, three signs stand out as possible indicators of a path to paradise: prayer, fasting, and charity. Now, let's dive into these signs and see how they act as protective shields in the grave. The first sign is prayer. It's described as a protective shield that rises to defend the believer when punishment approaches. Picture this: as the punishment descends from above, the believer's prayer springs into action, raising its hands and declaring, "Do not pass through me." In this way, the prayer guards the believer's head, serving as a steadfast sentinel against harm. The second sign, fasting, takes on a similar protective role. When punishment looms from the right side, fasting rises and asserts, "Do not pass through me." It's as if fasting forms an impenetrable barrier, guarding the believer from harm and ensuring that punishment cannot reach them. The third sign is charity. When punishment threatens from the left, charity rises and proclaims, "Do not pass through me." Just like prayer and fasting, charity acts as a shield, defending the believer and preventing punishment from getting through. But it doesn't stop there. At the believer's feet, all the good deeds they've done, from voluntary charity to kindness towards their family and community, rise up. These deeds, born of truthfulness and honesty, form a protective barrier and echo the same protective mantra: "Do not pass through me." These three signs, prayer, fasting, and charity, are more than just spiritual practices. They're shields, guardians, and protectors that rise in defense of the believer in the grave. When we practice these deeds with sincerity and devotion, they not only benefit us in this life, but also stand as our protectors in the afterlife. So remember, every prayer you offer, every fast you observe, and every act of charity you perform could be what stands between you and punishment in the grave. These three signs are your protective shields, your guardians, and your path to paradise. But what is the reward of these righteous deeds in the afterlife? Picture this: the believer, having answered the angel's questions correctly, is suddenly enveloped in a divine transformation. The Prophet, peace be upon him, explained that a voice from the heavens would declare, "My servant has spoken the truth." At this moment, the grave, which was once a daunting final resting place, transforms into a semblance of paradise. The angels, initially fearsome, now echo the heavenly voice saying, "We knew you would answer correctly." Following this, the believer is dressed in the garments of paradise, and a door to paradise is opened for them. A whiff of paradise's sweet fragrance fills the grave, and it expands as far as the eye can see. Imagine lying there, clothed in the garments of paradise, with a window that offers a glimpse of the heavenly realm. The surroundings start to resemble paradise, and a sense of tranquility blankets the believer. Then, an unexpected visitor graces the believer with their presence. This visitor is described as having a beautiful face, wearing beautiful clothes, and emanating a pleasant fragrance. The visitor brings tidings of joy, saying, "Good news of what will bring you happiness. It is your day, the one promised to you." The believer, bewildered yet intrigued, asks, "Who are you?" The visitor then reveals their identity, saying, "I am your good deeds." Imagine that, your good deeds, personified, standing before you in the form of a beautiful, comforting companion. What a sight it would be to see your prayers, your fasting, your charity, and your kindness towards others, all embodied in a single radiant being, there to accompany you in the afterlife. So, if we cultivate our good deeds in this life, they could become our pleasant companions in the afterlife, leading us to the blissful eternity of paradise. So what is the significance of these three signs in the context of the afterlife? Well, it's quite profound. Prayer, fasting, and charity are not just acts of worship. but they are our protectors and guides in the afterlife. They stand as a barrier between us and any punishment, each one saying, "Do not pass through me." It's as if these deeds become our companions, our shield, our comfort in the grave. Moreover, they signify our devotion and sincerity towards our faith. Prayer shows our constant communication with the divine. Fasting demonstrates our discipline and sacrifice, and charity is our kindness and generosity to others. These are not just deeds, but reflections of our character. But remember, the key is sincerity. It's not about quantity, but quality. It's not about showing off, but about genuine connection with the divine and compassion towards humanity. Thus, by nurturing these signs in our lives, we can hope to find ourselves on the path to paradise in the afterlife.